just when Sixers fans were finally feeling good about their team, just when it seemed the injury drama was over, just when everyone was all Ben Simmons rosy and Joel Embiid Twitter happy, nope, not so fast. Another mushrooming controversy that, frankly, has only gotten more weird over the past 24 hours, this time centered around the #1 overall pick in this year's draft. Here's what we know. Markelle Fultz, who shot the lights out in college, has not done that in any way, shape, or form since starting the season with the Sixers. He's also had a completely wonky shooting motion at the line, and his poor start was drawing so many questions. By yesterday afternoon, Fultz's agent, Raymond Brothers, went public to clarify Fultz is dealing with a shoulder injury. Brothers initially told our Adrian Wojnarowski that Fultz had liquid drained from his right shooting shoulder and, quote, literally cannot raise up his arms to shoot the basketball. Of course, this immediately got NBA Twitter going, posting multiple pictures of Fultz from the night before, lifting his arm above his head. And a few hours later, an updated account from Fultz's agent to Woj saying that no, actually, fluid didn't come out of the shoulder. Fluid went in, as a matter of fact, cortisone specifically. There was also some pushback from the Sixers, who didn't appreciate all the questions they were suddenly getting about why one of the most cautious organizations in the NBA was making their top draft pick play on an injured shoulder. The team noted they had gotten multiple medical opinions on Fultz and were confident in their plan for him. And then a few hours ago, then there was more. The team said Fultz will now miss at least the next 3 games due to right shoulder soreness, which could seem opposite of what they said last night, except then again, Brian Colangelo also addressed reporters saying, quote, there's no medical reason not to play him. He was cleared to play and he wanted to play. That is why he was playing. Then Colangelo added, quote, his reluctance to shoot, obviously his shot mechanics, have been affected by whatever's going on, or vice versa. Or vice versa. So Colangelo is throwing out there at least the possibility that Fultz changed his shooting mechanics first, and that's what damaged the shoulder? Which also, I guess, he's saying really isn't damaged enough that he shouldn't be cleared to play, but also we're sitting him for the next 3 games anyway? Oh, and here's another quote from Colangelo's media availability as tweeted out by NBC's Jessica Camerato. Brian said of Fultz, quote, it has become obvious he just hasn't been willing or committed to shooting outside of the paint. We are trying to work on that. So let's review. I haven't examined Markelle's shoulder, nor am I a doctor, so really I wouldn't be much use even if I had. I can't tell you who's right or wrong here because I don't know. All I know is that the team that has seemed to keep Joel Embiid out of the lineup every time he's had a sniffle has been playing the NBA's top draft pick, despite that he's having enough shoulder trouble that he's at least needed a cortisone shot. That seems weird. There also seems to be some contentiousness between the Sixers brass and Fultz's camp, at least enough that they're disagreeing publicly. And that seems weird. My guess is this will eventually all get worked out. My other guess is that in the meantime, Danny Ainge is watching all of this with a wry look on his face. Never a dull moment in Philadelphia.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
Right?
That was an incredible monologue.
I only go with what they give you to work with. I don't have an opinion here because, again, I'm not a doctor. It's just strange to hear so many conflicting things in, 20 hours?
It really is. From a player's perspective, I don't know why you would change your shot when you get to the NBA, unless there is something going on in his shoulder. However, I've dealt with a torn labrum. In the beginning of the season, I had to play with that throughout the whole season, and it is very painful to play with a shoulder injury because that's what makes us who we are. We shoot the ball, right? So to raise your arm up like that continuously is very painful. So if he's changing his shot when he gets to the NBA the first week of the season, something must be going on in that shoulder, and they have to really diagnose what that injury is.
Okay, so there's so much here. I'm just going to try to narrow it down to what I think are 2 tracks. One is we have Markelle Fultz, who's not playing well and has a sore shoulder. 2, we have a blame game. We have the organization pointing towards, I guess, what you would call an unauthorized shot change because they didn't know what was happening.
Right. Do you need to submit forms in triplicate if you're going to do that?
There's got to be some sort of process. And then the second thing is you have the agent saying, well, no, he had to have a cortisone shot. It's bothering me. He can't raise his arm up. To me, get rid of the blame game.
Yes.
Focus on getting your #1 overall pick
That you
healthy.
gave up third-round pick
Right.
and a future first-round pick for.
And the thing about it is, you mentioned Embiid. This team was also extremely careful with Ben Simmons, holding him out all of last season. So it seems unlikely to me. I'm trying to use common sense here because it's such a mess of weeds. It seems unlikely that the Sixers would put him out there if they thought he was really injured.
Right, but they gave him a cortisone shot. Did they give him a cortisone shot?
And they're now not playing him. I mean, we're back into the maze.
Right? Right. I mean, I agree with you. And I'm not, I mean, the truth is usually in the middle, first of all. And let's remember, everyone involved has the same goal. They're not working against each other.
Right.
Everybody would like Markelle Fultz to play well on the court, be functional, be happy, be not injured, right? Everybody on the team wants that. Markelle wants that. So it is strange to me that they are arguing over whether he's injured or not, and they're treating him with a treatment for being injured, but playing him.
Yeah, what you don't want, I mean, for your rookie player is to have these conflicting stories out this, and this messes with his head. And
That's already happened.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
already happening, and that's just not a good thing. So these guys need to clear some things up. They need to sit down and talk and really.
This is your guy, Trace.
That's right.
Yeah, it's my guy. And it's unfortunate that he's going through this situation because, I mean, this is a guy that's extremely confident. I don't see that now.
Right.
You know, this guy talking about he wants to win MVP for the season.
What's the opposite of confident?
Right.
Because that's what he is
Yeah.
right now. And the other thing is, from 30,000 feet here, when you have Ben Simmons, who looks fantastic, who struggles as a shooter, you have to have the other guy in the backcourt with him able to shoot from distance. Otherwise, this pairing will not work in the
No.
modern NBA. So they have got to get that shoulder fixed, and they have got to get him back in a good headspace. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem with these two #1 overall picks.
I mean, it kind of seems like the problem is everything, right? It might not be one or the other. It might be all of the
By the way, they
above.
just had a great win like 2 days ago.
That's what I said. Sixers fans thought they could exhale. You can never exhale, Sixers fans, apparently.